Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. I hope all of you are doing good. Welcome back to the reading practice session. So let's begin with today's test and the same announcements like we have every day. Please make sure that you're timing yourself. Please make sure that you are posting your answers. You have some pen and papers. You are not lying down because you cannot write properly in that case. Get up, sit straight, and have pen and paper in your hands to make notes. And then listen to the discussion part very carefully, because the discussion will be done twice on each question in detailed discussion. Otherwise, you'll have to go back to the recording and then go back to that question and listen to the explanation again. So it's better that you listen to the explanation very carefully in the class only. You can have a timer in front of you on your phones. Put a timer on when you start the question for 2.5 minutes, and try that you post your answer before that time finishes. So here is your first question on the screen for reading writing blanks. Time yourself 2.5 minutes and then post your answers in the chat box. All right, should be done. Let's discuss the answers. This says the dash we make on a daily basis, because the blank is very in the beginning of the sentence. So obviously they will give us some kind of explanation to understand what we make on daily basis. We can make food on daily basis. We can make a lot of things on daily basis. So the examples are given: wearing a seat belt, lifting heavy objects correctly, purposely staying out of any dangerous situation. So what are these things? These are the examples of options. Wearing a seat belt is an option that we make. Otherwise also, do we make options? So the noun options doesn't go with the verb make, because with options we say I have so many options, or I have given so many options. You don't make options. And singulars cannot be the answer. Alternative is not even a noun. Preference is a noun, but wearing a seatbelt is not a preference. Lifting heavy objects is not a preference. But these are our choices, whether we want to do it or not. You want to wear a seatbelt or not, you have a choice. You want to lift a heavy object or you don't want to lift it in the proper way. You want to enter a dangerous situation or you want to stay out of it. So these are the choices that we make on daily basis. These choices can either ensure our safety or bring about harmful circumstances. So, whatever choice we make, for example, if we wear a seat belt, it will lead to safety. If we do not wear a seat belt, it can bring about harmful circumstances. The sentence is complete, still we have a blank, means we need one more describing word for circumstances, just like harmful. But because adjective is already there and noun is already there, so we have to go with adverb. So words with ly. Bring about much harmful, assumably harmful. Why will we assume that this is harmful? We will know it is harmful. If you're not wearing a seat belt, it is not something to assume that it won't be harmful. Probably means may be harmful, but it should be potentially. Potentially means something that has the potential to cause something. So if you are not wearing a seat belt, or if you are lifting the heavy objects incorrectly, then it is potential. It has the potential to cause injury to you. So that is called potentially harmful circumstances. You and I need to make a decision that we are going to get our lives in order. Exercising self control, self discipline, and establishing boundaries and borders in our lives are some of the most important things we can do. A life without discipline is one that's filled with dash. What are the general words that we use with discipline? If a person is disciplined and we compare it with another person who is not disciplined, what will we call that person? See, Mr. A is so disciplined and you are so careless, right? This is the combination that we will use with responsible or disciplined person. A person who is not disciplined is called careless because he doesn't do things on time. That answer will be filled with carelessness. See, a life without discipline is one that's filled with something. So we need a noun here. Inaccurate and irresponsible are not nouns, they are adjectives. Carelessness and procrastination is a noun. The meaning of procrastination is when you intentionally keep delaying things. That is the process which is called procrastination. But life without discipline does not only mean that you keep delaying things. Without discipline means a lot of things. You don't wake up on time. That's also carelessness. You don't keep your things in order. That is also carelessness. So it's not only about delaying. That's why we cannot go with procrastination. We can think it's kind of exciting to live life on the dash. Note it in your list of phrases. This is a phrase. Live life on the edge is a phrase. So live life on the border, line, or verge may be correct in your understanding, but when we have a phrase, we have to go with the phrase and we cannot go with any other word. It has become a popular way to look at life, but if you see, even highways have lines which provide margins for our safety while we are driving. If we go over one side, we will go into the ditch. If we cross over the line in the middle, we could get killed. And we like those lines because they help to keep us safe dash we don't even realize how lines help to keep us safe. occasionally, sometimes, frequently, almost. This is a very general way of writing that sometimes we don't realize these things, that a line on the road is so important for us. So this is not something occasionally or rarely happens. It's a general way of saying that sometimes we don't even pay attention that this is such an important thing in our life, right? So these are the answers. With the verb make, we cannot make options, but yes, we do make choices, and the examples were also given. Second one, we do the sentence was complete and adjective and noun, both things were already there, so we have to go with adverb. And adverb means ly. So looking at the whole of the paragraph, it matches with potentially, because it's not that we are not wearing a seatbelt. It's a choice. If we will not wear, then it has the potential to cause harmful circumstances. And without discipline, life is filled with carelessness. Carelessness can be anything: managing your work, reaching on time, doing your duties, responsibilities, taking care of someone. Everything comes in carelessness. Whereas procrastination is only related to delaying something. The fourth one, live life on the edge, is a phrase, so you can note it down. And the last one was just a casual, general way of writing that sometimes you don't realize how important this small thing is, right? Any confusions, anybody? What did I say, Vamsi? It's a phrase. So if something is a phrase, like there is a phrase, grass is greener on the other side, you cannot change it no matter where it is written. If they're using a phrase, you cannot say grass is greener on my side, because that's not the phrase, right? A friend in need is a friend indeed. We cannot change it no matter what. So phrases are to be written in the same way. Moreover, line doesn't make sense here. Live life on the line means what? Which line do you live life on? So even if we go with the context, the next sentences tell us that they are talking about danger. That it is exciting to live life on the danger. That you don't want to be careful. You want to take risks in life. Even then, line doesn't make sense, right? Any other confusions, anyone? All right. So here is your question number 2. Make sure you're timing yourself and posting your answers. Very good, well done. This would be categorized as the most easy question. These types of questions are the easiest. And we should be targeting a full score here so that we can compensate for 1-2 mistakes done here and there. Cataract is the major cause of blindness, which is also caused by a damage to the cornea. It occurs more in the old age. The sentence is complete. We need an adverb. Constantly means something which remains the same. Seldom, repeatedly, or often. Often means generally it happens in the old age, and everybody is right in selecting often. As one starts growing old, the lens of the eye hardens, loses its transparency, and becomes opaque. It dashed the light rays from entering the eye. This is a fact, and facts are written in simple present tense. It is singular, so we need a verb with s. It is blocking is a continuous form. This is past form. This is future form. And like I said, facts are always written in simple present tense. So it obstructs the light rays from entering the eye. The dash of cataract blurs the vision. So after the, we need a noun. So what of cataract blurs the vision? Onset means start of something. Arrival is used, cannot be used for a disease. Disease don't arrive. Diseases don't arrive, right? Outbreak is used when some disease starts at a very mass scale. Hundreds and thousands of people are affected at the same time. That is called outbreak. And upsurge means increase. So here we'll go with onset. Onset means arrival only, starting, beginning of something. But we cannot use the word arrival itself for diseases. We never do that. So it's better to go with onset of cataract, which would be understood as start of arrival of cataract blurs the vision. Sometimes the cataract patient sees multiple images dash a single object image. So on the contrary is a connector and we use it with a comma. Alternatively is the opposite of something. On behalf of is when one person represents the whole of the, let's say I on behalf of Language Academy take the class. So it should be instead of, means instead of seeing one image, the cataract patient sees multiple images. So general understanding sentence. Because of the gradual development of cataract, the afflicted person loses his or her vision and the world becomes dark to him or her. The development of cataract is a complex process. However, the following factors dash to its formation. So easy option, like I say, the tenses are very easy. Following factors are attributing. Right now they are attributing in front of us? No, right? So we cannot say they are doing this. Must attribute, in place of must we have to use have to, like we discussed yesterday as well. So can we say the following factors have to attribute, means this is their duty that they attribute to the formation. And are being attributed, then it can only come with by because it's a passive statement. So we have to go with the following factors can be attributed to its formation, means can be the reason of its formation. This we discussed last week also. Attributed word is used when you want to say because of the next mentioned things, or this is the reason of the next mentioned things. So here it makes sense. The following factors are the reason of its formation, and we can write it. The following factors can be attributed to its formation because they cannot be all the reasons in one single person. It can be any of those reasons. Very well attempted. A lot of you have done it all correct. Very good. So these are the answers. Often means generally it happens in old age. And then the second one is a factual statement. Facts are given in simple present tense, so no past or future or continuous options. Arrival is not the word that we use for diseases. Arrival is arrival of monsoons. We use it with seasons. Then we use arrival, departure at the airports kind of things, but not with diseases. Outbreak is when a disease spreads at a mass scale. Hundreds and thousands of people, like COVID was an outbreak. And instead of was basic understanding. And the last one, because we have the reasons given to its formation. So we'll say these factors can be attributed, can be the reason of formation. Any confusions, anyone in this question? Okay, so you have question number 3 on your screens. Where is R attributed? Where is R attributed? Amandeep Kaur, we have R attributing. An ing form is used when something is happening right now. So like we say, children are playing. What does that mean? They are right now playing in front of you. So we cannot say those factors are attributing, means right now they are leading to. They generally lead to, right? So that's why ing cannot come there. Question number 3, 2.5 minutes. Time yourself and then post your answers, please. All right, should be done. Let's discuss the answers. An epidemic of obesity or being overweight dash many countries in the world. More than 300 people are obese or overweight. So what tense are we in? We are in present tense. So let's see, this is future, this is past. And can we say obesity has been affected? That's wrong. Obesity has not been affected, but obesity has affected other people. So has been means the effect is on obesity, because has been is a passive way of writing. So again, active passive was the test here. So we'll say obesity is affecting many countries as more than 300 million people are obese. Obesity dash be for a particular reason. Some people tend to be overweight because of this. So obesity must means have to be for a particular reason. That's not true. Different people are obese because of different reasons, like they have explained some of the examples as well. So this is not about whether obesity is possible or not, but what are the reasons. So it could be for a particular reason, because this is just a possibility. There are possibilities that it is without any reason as well, just because it's in your genes. So obesity could be for a particular reason, like some people tend to be overweight because of their high calorie diet and lack of physical activities. In the US, obesity is more dash in lower income groups. So means it is more in lower income group people. So it is more prevalent. Commonplace means everywhere. Commonplace is used for place. Can we say obesity is more foremost? So foremost means first. It can never come with more, because first is already at the first place. Customary is something related to rituals. So obesity is not related to rituals. So we can say more prevalent. Prevalent means widespread. Means it is more commonly spread, widely spread in lower income groups. Obesity is now well recognized as a disease in its own right. Dash obesity means being overweight. It is defined as an excess amount of body weight that includes muscle, bone, fat, and water. Okay, so there are two parts in this sentence, one part here and the other starts from here. And there are two different meanings. One is common meaning of obesity is overweight, but the technical definition is this. So there is a contrast. We cannot say even obesity. Even doesn't come when you have contrast. Nonetheless also doesn't come without a comma. We need a comma after nonetheless. Nonetheless is a connector used in place of however. Better version of however, and nevertheless is nonetheless. Now out of though and despite, we have a simple rule. Though comes if you have a subject plus verb, and despite comes when you only have the subject or the noun, means there is no verb given. But if you look at this sentence, obesity is the subject here and means is the verb. So that means we have to go with though. We cannot go with despite. Though obesity means being overweight, it is defined as this. Then they say obesity dash to run in families, suggesting a genetic cause. Obesity will be considered as singular. So we need a plural with verb with s. So obesity likely to is not possible, supposed is not possible. So we have happens and tends. Obesity happens to run or obesity tends to run. So we are just taking a possibility again, because not every obesity runs in families. So we'll say tends to means is likely to run. Possibility that it runs in families in genes as a genetic cause. Right, so these are the answers. The first one was a test of active voice and passive voice. Second one, your understanding of the sentence, that they are talking about just possibilities. The third one, prevalent, you should be knowing the meaning. Widespread, it is more common. And difference between though and despite. Despite comes when you have only subject or noun, and though comes when you have both subject plus verb or noun plus verb. And the last one, obesity will be considered singular. So we need to have a verb with s, and there are only two options that we have. Obesity happens to is more of a sure thing, whereas tends to is likely to. Likely to means possibility. In general, if a sentence has the word being, do we need to use has been? No, I didn't get it. If the sentence has being, then do we need to use has been where? Because has been will mean that being is already there. So where to use has been? Likely to are the words which come together, but don't we need is Rajni if we want to say obesity is likely to run? Obesity likely to run, is it right without helping verb? Check grammar first of all. Any other confusions, anyone? All good with this one? Prevalent means common or widespread, Amandeep. Okay. Question number 4, and you have 2.5 minutes. Please time yourself and then post your answers. Yes, are we done? Why have I got so different answers? Employees are willing to spend considerable money regarding this purpose. So you spend money regarding a purpose. Take it, make a general sentence, and how will you complete a sentence that I am spending a lot of money on this project? Will you say I'm spending a lot of money regarding this project? Regarding is about. You say about this purpose I'm spending money for this purpose. Our health is important not only to us but also to our families and even to our employers. No wonder then that companies everywhere have a stake in the health and fitness of their employees and are willing to spend considerable money dash this purpose. So it will be considerable money towards this purpose because the purpose is yet to be achieved and they are spending a lot of money to achieve that purpose, to achieve that goal. Regarding means about. Tell me regarding your trip. What does that mean? Tell me about your trip. Through is used in two ways. Through the tunnel when we cross something, or through comes with method, ways, or process. Through this method, through this way, through this process, right? And within is used when we place a limit on something. You have to complete this question within 2.5 minutes when you're placing a limit, not crossing the boundary. So it will be two words. Japanese companies particularly excel in this, and the more successful among them start off the day with a body bending and stretching session, and even singing the company song designed to promote loyalty and motivation dash the workforce. And this almost everybody's right because workforce will include a lot of people, and whenever there are more than two people, we say among the people. Amid is not used with human beings. Amid is used with events like amid the conflict, means during or in between the conflict. Between is for two people and along means side by side. So we want to promote loyalty in the workforce, not side of the workforce. So this is considered an important factor dash to high productivity and quality. What have I got? Very good. So this is an important factor contributing to because associating comes with, relating also comes with to, but we cannot use it here. Doesn't make sense. This is an important factor relating to. Relating to it has some kind of relation. But this is an important factor directly for productivity and quality, not just one part of. And we do need ing form of verb whenever the sentence is complete. This is considered an important factor, is a complete formation in itself. So we cannot use first form of verb, lead or leads. If we want to use first form of verb, we will need a conjunction and it leads to or and leads to. So we need subject before we put first form of verb. So we have to go with ing. It is estimated that some 20,000 American firms have established in-house health clubs. In some cases, there is a nominal contribution by the employees on the premise that they no on the premise they will value and use the facilities all the more. Some insurance companies have dashed with employees in such ventures as better health contributes to a longer life and hence more premium. So with have comes third form of verb. Companies have come together with employees can be right if we don't have a better option. Companies have teamed up is better because come together also means Mr. A and Mr. B came together. Physically actually entering a party together is also come together. But teamed up definitely means that working together is called teamed up. So what is more what is better option? What is more specific is teamed up. This is not cooperation. Cooperation has nothing to do in partnership in business. And participated with the employees doesn't make sense. So we'll say they have teamed up, which means they have come together, but it is better way of saying the same thing. So insurance companies have teamed up with employees because of this reason. Though many firms in India have generous medical schemes, the movement towards health clubs and the like is yet to gain dash. The movement is yet to gain dash. So what can a movement gain? Movement towards health clubs is yet to gain attention, momentum, encouragement, or incentive. Incentive cannot be the answer, Amarjot Kaur, because if more and more people will start taking care of their health and they will also participate in health clubs, they are not going to get incentive out of that. Incentive is a word that we use for like bonus. Anything extra like house allowance, transport allowance, all these things are incentives that you get something for doing a particular work. And it's the movement is yet to gain encouragement. Do you want people to encourage this movement, or the movement is yet to gain momentum? Momentum is the right answer, which almost none of you have selected. Or momentum means pace, means this movement is not very popular. It's yet to gain popularity. Popularity means momentum, means not many people are attracted towards it, or not many people are participating in it. So that is it, it has not got the momentum it requires. That participation, that popularity is called momentum. We cannot say the movement is yet to gain attention, because attention is generally we use towards negative things, right? So just one wrong for most of you. Please note down the meaning and the use of momentum. So the first one should not have been wrong. Regarding means about, so it is two words. Good, Tamanna, well done. Among, because workforce will include more than two people. Contributing to, because it's a direct contribution, it's not just something relating to. Teamed up is better way of saying come together. And last one, movement gaining popularity, which means movement gaining momentum. Any confusions, anyone? Okay, all good. Let's move on to the next one. The last question for reading writing blanks. You have 2.5 minutes and then post your answers, please. Very bad. Seriously? The first answer is A. Rights and duties are two sides of the same coin. One can't exist without the other. Duties without rights are mere slavery. Similarly, rights without duties dash lawlessness. The very first thing to look at, the noun is plural, so we need the verb without s. So eliminate everything which is with s. And the first elimination should have been sums up to, and a lot of you have written A as the answer. And this is the most basic rule. If I will start writing the rules on a paper, this will be the first one I will write, starting from the most basic one, which is going to be tested in the exam multiple times. So I keep on saying the same thing. About or approximately 4 to 5 blanks in the exam, they come on this only one rule. Singular noun, plural verb, plural noun, singular verb. You can't remember this one combination. You can't remember to check this combination every time you have options with S and without S. Is it that difficult? Now this is self-analyzation and self-realization, that why am I being so careless? Is it so difficult to note, to remember, to recall, or to understand? Now this tells you that how sincerely you are learning from these classes. Something that we do every day. Rights without duties dash lawlessness. So because noun is plural, we cannot have a verb with s. So what can we say? The second common answer that I have got is rights without duties consist of lawlessness. Do we really say rights consist of something? Did the first sentence talk about consisting? We have similarly as the connector, means whatever the first sentence said, we are going to say similar thing. Connectors have a meaning. Similarly, on the contrary, means it is related to the previous one. So if they said duties without rights means this, means slavery. Similarly, rights without duties amount to. Amount to means result in or lead to, means this is what we get if we have rights but no duties in those rights. Like they said, if you have duties but no rights, then it is mere slavery. If you have rights without any duties, then it is mere lawlessness. That means lead to, amount to, result in, that this is what we get. And you are saying consist of. Rights consist of lawlessness. If in any civilized society, rights and duties go side by side. Might means 50-50, we don't know, they should go or they should not go, we have no idea. May also means the same. Can means ability to do something, and must means they have to go together. So we have learned the use of must even today and yesterday as well. Must comes whenever you want to say have to, that there is no doubt in this thing. So it will be rights and duties have to go, means must go side by side. But in today's world, everybody talks much about his rights. There is a great hue and cry. Note it in your list of phrases. Great hue and cry is a phrase. You can get it in the form of a blank as well. So there is a great hue and cry if our rights are dash. So with are comes third form of verb. Let's eliminate if there is anything which is not third form. So violating cannot be the answer. So there is a great hue and cry if our rights are dash. So hue and cry basically means a lot of complaint. Lot of people make it a big deal if their rights are dash. Means they might go on a strike, they might turn violent. So they do a lot of things. They make it a very big deal if their rights are dash. Diminished means decrease. Infringed, violated. Undermined, not valued. So if you don't value my right, that's your problem. So I will not create a hue and cry because you are not valuing my right? And similarly, rights don't increase or decrease. Increase and decrease are not the words that we use for rights. So rights are infringed. Infringed means violated. Violated means if you are not allowed to do something which is your right. Now I have a right, let's say the the basic rights of constitution, right to education, and somebody is not um, allowing me to go to school, then it is violation of my right, infringement of my right, and I will create a big hue and cry in that case. Otherwise, you should have a basic knowledge of the words that are used in particular contexts, like in law language, violation, infringement, rights, duties. These are very common group of words used. And then actually duties come first and rights dash, and rights later, thereupon, next, or afterwards. So later, next, and afterwards almost they are same, but what is a better way to match with first is after that. Means because we only have two things, right? So it's not a big chronological order that 1, 2, 3, 4 that we can say later. Later can be number 4 and number 5 as well. Next means there are lots, there can be other things as well. So we can go with duties comes first and then rights. And then rights means rights after that. Because the topic is only about two things, rights and duties. Many a time, one man's right is another man's duty and vice versa. For example, every man has a right to have an undisturbed sleep. So it becomes a duty of his neighbor not to tune his radio at too high a pitch. If we want to enjoy our rights, we should act in such a way that the rights of others are not trespassed. It can happen only if we take due account of our duties also. In short, rights and duties are dash things and non-contradictory. So in short means the overall conclusion of this whole reading the passage is that rights and duties are not contradictory, means they are not opposite of each other, rather they are dash. So what is the opposite of not opposite, non-contradictory? Combined, they are joined together. Complementaries, they go with one another. Rights and duties are collective things. Collective is something that we collect. And corresponding is not an adjective. So we'll go with complementary. Complementary means they go hand in hand. They benefit one another. They are not negative to one another. So that is the meaning of complementary. So be a bit careful. No, we don't have a PDF of these rules. There are two videos because reading these rules you won't understand. So that's why there are two videos in which these rules are explained. Because not everything that we get on a piece of paper is what we understand. Right? So the rule is if we need a verb, then with R comes third form of verb. But what if we don't need a verb? Then rights and duties are dash things. Do you need a verb? Do you need an action here? Rights and duties are doing things. Rights and duties are making things. Do we need action here? Or are we describing rights and duties? Like we say, Mr. A and Mr. B are best friends. Do we need verb there? We need adjective. What kind of friends they are? Right? So you have to be careful. See the first, always in every blank, every kind of question, your first check is, do I need a noun, verb, adjective, or adverb? If this is not right, then all of the other rules you will follow will go wrong. So first of all, make your basics right. What is noun, what is verb, adjectives and adverbs. Go through the videos once again if you have not got the concept properly, and then start understanding. Because if the first check goes wrong, or if you're skipping the first check, then it can always be a possibility that you are applying the wrong rule at the wrong place. Right? Corresponding means what? They write down the meaning of corresponding that you understand for me. So Vinod, I hope it's clear now. We don't need a verb in the last blank. So V3 or ing is not a point to discuss there. Yes, Dev. So respond with other action, right? So here are we saying that rights are done only with duties? So rights respond only when duties are there. Corresponding, just like you mean that if you have done PhD, so you can have the initial DR corresponding to your names, corresponding to your name. If you have done engineering, you can have the initial ER corresponding to your name. So corresponding means with the other thing, something that happens with the other thing. Here we need a describing word for what are rights and duties, like they have used that rights and duties are non-contradictory, means they are not against each other. Rights and duties are complementary. Complementary means they support each other. Corresponding don't doesn't mean support in any form, or they actually benefit each other, or they go hand in hand. Corresponding has none of these meanings. The videos are on your Language Academy portal itself. When you click on right on the dashboard, click on reading, and there are 5 videos. You have to go through them. All good with everyone? All right, let's begin with reorders. So here is the first question. 2 minutes to solve this and post your answers in the chat box. Okay, a good start. Good question to start because I haven't got many good answers. So the basic rule, the most general sentence comes first. The first sentence is D, which all of you have got correct. Tobacco is the second biggest cause of death in the world. And like I always keep saying that the second sentence will always give the justification for the first one. Now, why are you saying that it is the second biggest cause? Or give proof that this is the second biggest cause? Or further explain, what do you mean when you say this is the second biggest cause? So any of these things are answered in the next sentence. Now we said it is the second biggest cause of death. So we'll say it is responsible for the death of 5 crore people each year all over the world. So how is it big? Because so many people die. 5 crore people die each year. That is why we are saying it is the second biggest one in the world. All over the world means the same things. Now we have these centers. So before these centers, we have to talk about some centers. So that is why B is at number 3. Many people get rid of this habit on their own, and those who are willing to but can't go to de-addiction centers. And de-addiction centers are referred to as these centers. Use counseling, nicotine replacement therapy, and prescriptive drugs to deal with withdrawal problems. Quitting cold turkey, that is stopping the use of tobacco at once, works well, but only for those who have control and determination to quit, because this is also about getting rid topic, so it will come at the end. Always the sentences which have some kind of pairing, some kind of reference, they come first. And if there is a one sentence which is um, related to that topic, but it is not directly related, you don't have a direct reference, then you cannot put it anywhere in the middle. There's no logic for putting it in the middle. So first you start the topic that many people get rid of habit by this method or that method. So that is the starting of getting rid topic. And in the end, you will say that quitting it at once, it's only work for these group of people or this group of people. How can we just say, okay, 5 crore people die in the world because of tobacco, and quitting tobacco at once only works for certain group of people? What is the relationship? First, start the quitting topic, give all the options, and then narrow down to one group, right? Okay, should have been correct. This was easy. The second question on your screens, 2 minutes, and then post your answers, please. 𝗂𝗁𝗃𝗃, very well done. So a lot of you have got C as the first answer, which is wrong. What is a introductory writing style and what is a explanatory writing style is what you are lacking in. So introductory writing style is when you have the full form and in the bracket you have the acronym for that. That is the introductory writing style. If you use only the acronym or only the full form in any of the sentences, that will be explanatory. So the sentence which has both the things will always come over the sentences which have one of the things. So please make a note. So this has made your whole answer wrong. This is the first sentence. A one-day international ODI is a form of limited overs cricket played between two teams with international status in which each team faces a fixed number of overs, which is usually 50. And then this is a factual statement. This is a definition of ODI, one-day international. And then one related sentence is the Cricket World Cup is played in this format, because you just talked about the format, which is 50 overs by each team. And then you talk about the past. The international one-day game is a late 20th century development. Late 20th century can have a lot of years. And then you specify which year are you talking about. The first ODI was played on 5th January 1971. So 20th century is much broader than giving one day in 20th century. This is one of the very good questions and the easiest one, simply based on rules. So 20th century is broader, one day is narrower, so that was one pair. And wherever you have full form plus acronym, that will always come first than using the acronym or the full form separately. Right, still at least, even if you messed up, at least the pairs should have been correct. CA and BD. So those who have got CA and BD, they will still get 2 marks, but otherwise be careful about reorders. Third question, 2 minutes, and then post your answers. All right, should be done. This is one question which was simply based on what you have to go with the flow of information. First, you say something and you give more information about that, and you give further information about that. This was that kind of question where you first introduce your topic. The major health threat is the early development of type 2 diabetes. This is your topic that we are going to talk about. The major health threat nowadays is the early development of type 2 diabetes. Unless and until you introduce something, you cannot give explanations, right? You cannot just start your topic with type 2, what are the causes of type 2 diabetes, what are the consequences of type 2 diabetes. Because you say that my topic is type 2 diabetes, then you start giving the explanations. So the major health threat means the topic for today is the development of type 2 diabetes, particularly in children. This is where we are particularly going to talk about children with a family history of disease, and then you go ahead. So the second sentence is D, because here they say doctors are reporting a surge in young adolescents developing type 2 diabetes, which can lead to these diseases. Now, this is a continuation of the first one. You first said we are going to talk about children. Children can be divided into infants, babies, adolescent, young adolescents, and then you are specifying that doctors are reporting a surge in young adolescents developing this disease. So, this is a narrow down thing. And then further explanation, these were the more consequences. People who develop diabetes in adolescence face a diminished quality of life, shortened lifespan, particularly if the disease progresses untreated. This is further explanation. And then in the end, the overall thing, it's very scary for children. But in many cases, obesity and diabetes are preventable. One positivity uh, in this sentence, so it will come at the end because it is different from the other three, which were generally negative, mostly negative. Sorry, right? So not many of you have got this correct. Who is this? Shivali, very well done. Shivali, you have improved on reorders. Very good. Let's begin with reading blanks. You have the first question on your screens and you have 2 minutes to post your answers. Okay, should be done. Let's discuss the answers. So this says, choice of a career is not simply a matter of likes and dislikes. Financial resources play a very important role in dash to choose a profession. And everybody's writing, selecting, in deciding, because this is a decision that we make. For lack of funds, one will have to choose a far humbler career. One can take to politics if one has an aptitude for public life. It is a profession of hard labor and dash. So we need a noun here. It is a profession of what? It is a profession of hard labor and what? So we have resolution as a noun and perseverance as a noun, and the answer will be perseverance. We cannot say politics is a profession of resolution. You don't take resolutions there, but you have to keep going attitude, that's called perseverance, that you stay calm and you don't get demotivated with the negativities, with the drawbacks, with the problems, challenges. That is called perseverance, when you keep going. If you have strong optimism, ambition for fame, and are prepared to face the worst, you are best dash for politics. So you are best matched. Matched comes with two, but what we have is four, so we'll better go with suited. We are suited for politics. If you have enough money and resources and want to grow very rich, you can choose business as your career. Therefore, be practical, logical, and dash in choosing your profession. So these are the qualities that we need when we are choosing. We have to be practical, we have to be logical, and what else we have to be? So we have to be reasonable in choosing your profession. This is a dash choice. Most of you have written vital. The two options that we had were vital and crucial. Vital is used when you want to say something is very, very, or the most important thing. And crucial is when something is decisive. Decisive means on which the success and failure of something depends. So this choice is crucial because on this choice depends the success or failure of your career. So if it is something which is decisive factor, decisive in nature, means based on this the success and failure of something depends, and it's not vital, it's crucial that we use in that case. Right? Any confusions, anyone? So the first one is right for all of you. What did I just say, Amandeep? I think I was saying this explanation only. Vital means most important and crucial means decisive. On which the success and failure of something depends is crucial. And when you just want to say something is most important, then we say vital in that case. So this choice, based on this choice, will be the success and failure of your career depending. So that is why this is a crucial choice. The first one is deciding, which I don't think we had a doubt. The second one, we needed a quality, which is perseverance, means we have to keep calm, we have to keep going attitude. The third one, suited for, matched to. So we have four, that's why we go with suited for. And the fourth one, again, we need a quality. We have to be practical, logical, and reasonable. Reasonable means don't think over the moon, or maybe something which is not even possible. So make reasonable decisions, something that you can actually in practical, in logically achieve. And the last one, crucial choice. Crucial means a decision on which the success and failure of the next thing depends. Matched comes with two. Right? So here you have your second question and 2 minutes to post your answers. Don't we need a negative word in the first blank? Those who are writing fulfilling. Falling down or failing is one of the most agonizing, embarrassing, and dash human experiences. There are two things to note here. One, grammar first. So grammar tells us that they are using third form of verb. Most comes with third forms of verbs. And so we also need third form of verb. That's the first thing. And then the words are negative. Agonizing, embarrassing are not positive words. So we also need a negative verb and it should be third form. So we have creepy negative and scariest negative, but creepy is first form. So we'll go with scariest, which is negative plus third form. But it also one of the most educational, empowering, and essential parts of living a successful life and dash life. This is how you should be reading the sentence with and. So we need an adjective for life, like they have said successful life and dash life. Successful is positive, so we also need a positive word. Those who have written better, better is V2. They haven't used V2. Successful is first form, so we will also not go with V2. We just need an adjective. So what adjective we have in positive is fulfilling. That's the only adjective I think that we have no options. Did you know that perseverance is one of the 7 qualities that have been described as the dash to personal success and betterment in society? So there are two things. Sorry. Perseverance is one of the 7 qualities that have been. So have been means we are talking about all the 7 qualities. The 7 qualities have been described as the dash to personal success and betterment. So after the comes a noun and we need a plural noun, because we are talking about not one quality, we are talking about plural qualities, and a noun that is plural, only one again. These are the keys to personal success and betterment in society. The other 6 are these. Thomas Edison is a model for grit for trying 1000 plus times to invent the right bulb. When asked why he kept going dash his hundreds of failures. So here the answer is despite. You can write down an easy word on where to use despite. Wherever you can fit even after, there you can go with despite. So let's fit even after here. When asked why he kept going even after hundreds of failures, that is when you should use despite. Otherwise, despite, we know that despite comes when there are two contrasting pieces of information. One side we have hundreds of failures, and other side we are saying he kept on trying. So obviously this is a contrast. He merely stated that what he had been, not failures, grammar mistake. There were hundreds of ways not to create a light bulb. This statement not only dashed his grit but also his optimism. So this statement not only, we have two verbs, defined and revealed. This statement is not a definition, but yes, we can say this statement showed not only his grit, but it also showed his optimism, that how positive a person he was. So we can go with revealed. For looking dash the bright side, so with looking we always go with look at, not look on. So looking at this side. Any confusions, anyone? So the first one is third form of verb and the answer should be a negative word. So we go with scariest. The second one, we need an adjective for life, a positive adjective. So we'll go with fulfilling. Third one, after the comes a noun and it should be plural because you're talking about 7 qualities. Have made it very clear to us. So we go with keys. Despite in place of even after. And this statement not only revealed, means not only showed his perseverance, but also his positivity for looking at the brighter side. Any confusions, anyone? Very good question. Okay, third one in front of you. You have 2 minutes to post your answers. Very well done. But we must remember one thing, that C is not to be dashed indiscriminately. So with B comes third form of verb, and everybody is right in selecting exploited, that we cannot exploit the sea indiscriminately. For example, man in his greed has hunted whales and some other sea creatures so dash that some of their species have either become extinct or are on the dash of extinction. So means we have hunted whales in a negative way, only then they are about to get extinct. So how have we hunted the whales? It should be recklessly. Recklessly means very, very carelessly, without thinking what adverse consequences it can have. So that is reckless behavior, careless behavior. So either they have already extinct or on the dash of extinction. This is a phrase, verge of extinction. When we have very few species left, and if those die, that particular organism or animal will become extinct. That is called verge of extinction, and we always write it in the same way. Now, nations of the world have realized their folly and have taken some joint decisions. For example, one such decision is that the size of the holes in fishing nets should be big enough to let baby fish escape through. Very good. This was a good thought process. So because we cannot say escape from, because if we write from, we need a source after that, and the net itself is the source. So we have to say escape through, because through is used for passing. So here we are using through, that they can pass through the hole, like pass through the tunnel. Otherwise, large quantities of very Killing of large quantities of very young fish would have an dash effect on the fish population. So effect is a noun. We need what kind of effect, and it should start with the vowel after an. So we have only one vowel starting with an, which is adverse effect, because obviously this is going to have negative effect. Any confusions, anyone, in this question? Carelessly and Ashish. Recklessly means carelessly, without thinking. All good with all of you? Right. The last question for reading blanks, 2 minutes, and then post your answers. Do we use as far as with time? Navigational instruments were improved. The compass, probably imported in primitive form from the Orient, was gradually developed. The 15th century, European pilots were using an iron pin that pivoted in a round box. So with time, we can go with until. As far as is not used with time. They realized that it did not dash to the true north. So with did comes first form of verb. It is being used for compass here. No, sorry. This iron pin. So they realized that the iron pin did not dash to the true north. So iron pin did not point, because point goes with to. Possess means to have something. So we'll say this pin did not point to the true north, and no one at that time knew of the magnetic pole. The astrolabe had been known dash Roman times. So Roman times is the past time. So we can say since means from that time they know about this astrolabe. But its employment by seafarers was rare even as late as 1300. It became more common during the next 50 years, though most pilots did not dash it and often did not need it. So again with did comes first form of verb, sorry. Most pilots did not have it. Have means possess. And then they say for longitude, then and many years dash. So then means at that time and many years, forever after or thereafter. Thereafter is better. We don't know it was forever or not. No information is given about that. So we can say many years after that, and after that means thereafter. So is the topic about holding the thing or having the thing? Holding means they did not hold it in their hands. They can keep it on the table then. So hold means what? To hold something in your hand. And possess means have. We are saying most pilots did not have this thing. It's not about they were holding or not holding it. And most of you have written hold. So will you say that the pilots, the sea pilots, they don't hold the compass? No problem. They can keep it. They don't have it with them is the topic. Any other confusions, anyone, in this question? The first one is until, because with time period we cannot say as far as. The second one, with did comes first form of verb, and the verb that goes with to is point. We are talking about a needle. And since with Roman time, since means from that time. Again with did we need first form, and based on the context they wanted to say that the pilots did not have this thing because they did not need it. And the last one, that time and many years after that, and after that means thereafter. Any confusions, anybody? Okay, so these were all the questions that we had to do today. I hope you would have taken notes, and I really hope that all of you were timing yourself, listening to the explanation very, very careful, self-analyzing at the same time that what kind of mistakes you make, what are your doubtful areas, what are the areas you're weak at. Keep revising those grammar videos again and again, going through them maybe on fast forward mode, even that will work, but do repeat and revise them.